Hey everyone, this is kind of a video that we are putting out there without really much notification. We normally are the hosts of On the Ring Apron. I'm Steve.
And I'm Kia.
But this is not one of our usual blurbs. We, of course, for anybody that follows us knows, we pop up here every Friday. We talk everything WWE, but we've popped in here for a second because of a topic that happened last night on social media that really kind of bothered the entire wrestling community, and it's not something that, after we discussed it, is not something we're willing to wait until Friday to talk about. It's also something that we feel is not something that should be limited to just like a 1 or 2 minute little blurb in our videos. When we meet with you guys on Fridays, we want to be able to talk fun, we want to be able to discuss things, but tonight is not going to be one of those topics. It's going to be a very serious conversation. And one thing we want to express before we get started is we're not going to discuss a lot of, politics or ethics as to how things work out. We tend to believe that every person that attends a WWE event is a grown man or a grown woman, who's going to, bring the right environment to it. Without mentioning any names, for those who are involved with this, you know who you are, but we're not going to mention any names. But we had an incident yesterday where we had a person that we consider to be a friend of ours and a friend of the community that we ended up finding out through various messaging and whatnot that he was attempting to have relations as well as post or secure and post unfettered photos of underage girls that he had met at WWE and other wrestling events. And it's a person that we had interaction with in the past before. A lot of people considered this particular individual to be a good member of the community. And so when we first found out this information, we kind of were like, okay, how do you take it? But then we noticed that as the day came on, just more people just started just relaying direct messages, text messages, all kinds of stuff, and it's something that he had been doing for quite some time and to a lot of people. Unfortunately, without full clairvoyance here, I want to also state that my wife was also involved in a situation with him as well, where with myself and our kids standing right next to her, he decided he was still gonna try to pull some stupid shit. It was quickly shut down by my wife here, but unfortunately there were some people that were not as lucky. It's very very disappointing to have to see a person of the community that basically gets outed like this, but
they did it to themselves.
I completely agree. And
so for this person to get outed, he did it to themselves. I feel as a community, first of all, as a female, I do not appreciate it. Second of all, it's not called for and it's inappropriate. Third of all, you know how I feel as a female with the things that I've gone through. So for me, it hits close to home. So when you make remarks or comments like that, doesn't matter if it's face to face, doesn't matter if it's in your DM, doesn't matter if it's in person, it does not matter. The fact that you would go that far and do that much proves you have no respect for, first of all, yourself as a person. You have no respect for the person you're offending, female or male. You have no respect for the community that we're in, cosplay, WWE, just all around. And the fact that you feel that was appropriate, you brought it on yourself. This person brought it on themselves.
And that's one thing that I'm very happy to say, that the entire wrestling community as a whole very quickly came to the aid and came to the support of the people who were wrongfully were put in a very bad situation here. Especially some of the younger ones apologized. Felt like they should have said something a long time ago. And the bottom line is, those who were affected by this should never feel sorry for the position that they were in. It's unfortunate, that a person that we honestly considered a friend, comes out as, call a spade, a
scumbag.
A scumbag creep is what I was going to go with, creep.
Or douche, but scumbag fits.
The list of synonyms can go on and on, but the fact is, this is a person that was well known amongst a lot of people, and for him to pull shit like this, I had to check up on a number of friends last night that I was really concerned were potentially involved with this. I'm happy to say they weren't. But I know not everyone was as lucky. But there comes some positivity from this, and despite the fact that this is one scumbag, that I can say with pretty good certainty is likely not going to rear his head again at WWE events for quite some time, if ever again, because of how badly he was outed. At the same time, it is so humbling and so proud of the community that we have created, that they all rallied around the victims of this and showed that we're not just a group of online people, we're a family.
Yeah, we are.
I don't like seeing this happen more than anyone else, but at the same time, I watched as people just lit into this person and made sure it was very clear that this was something that not only was not going to be tolerated, but also showed that as a family there is a lot of strength in numbers.
My thing with that is you feel it to be appropriate for you to offend this person, but then when it hits the fan, when I guess more or less shit hits the fan, you can't take it. Therefore, you disable every form of social media so nobody can get in contact with you. That tells me you're a coward. That tells me that you're weak-minded when it's 100-on-1, but when it's 1-on-1 and you're offending someone, you can do whatever you want. You feel strong. You feel powerful. To the people that did not come out about it until now, probably because they were scared. He's got pull. This person's got pull. He, can do whatever. If I come out, they're going to say it's, me against him. They're going to believe him over me. And again, for being from the female perspective, that's how it usually plays out. It's going to always be his word against her word, because as a female, you're going to get viewed as she just wants attention, or she's just trying to, capture him or hook him or whatever. And it's sad that the society is like that. But like my husband said, with the universe that we have, community we have, everybody has rallied around these people, the people that are coming out, the people that are actually able to prove that, this is what the girls that are able to prove, the women that are able to prove that this is what he did. Everybody's coming out, and the people that did not know are rallying around these people, trying to say, what he did is not right, it's not appropriate, and we're here for you. Need us, call us, text us. If you have any way you can reach us,
Absolutely.
We're here.
It opened the door, though, for those who were scared to say something. It opened the door for so many to come out and say, look, it's not just you. It's been Me Too. We've had we've seen the Me Too movement over the last few years, where people have been in situations where women and men in certain circumstances.
Yeah,
believe me, there's no gender bias here.
Exactly.
There have been people who have said no to this. This is not going to be tolerated anymore. And one thing that the community very well showed last night is this is not something that's going to be tolerated in our WWE Universe. So as I said, we're not going to do a lot of fan ethics, a lot of fan politics here. We want our shows to be fun. We know we're still very fledgling at this, but at the same time, this is something that couldn't go unsaid. So we're keeping this one relatively brief. But one thing we did want to state is, for those of you who rallied behind the victims of this, from myself and from Kia, we want to say, bravo, proud of you, because this is something that, like she said, when it's one-on-one, it's very easy to say he said, she said, and sweep it under the rug. But when the WWE Army got behind these victims, he was left without really anywhere to go except to basically just disable everything and hope that is, if honestly that's all he gets, that will be, he honestly will get off lucky, because he deserves a lot more based on some of the things I read.
I can tell you for a fact, and I don't know about you, but for me, you know my past, and you know my history, and you know why I'm against this in every aspect. If I see you, and I will see you because I remember who you are, don't think you're getting off scot-free. Your best bet is not to show up at these events, and you better hope you don't run into me, because the girls that you messed with, I consider them to be friends, even if we don't talk that often.
At the end of the day, and I think, he's going to be somebody that I think is going to disappear for a while if he ever returns, just because he's got so many people that he has basically, his true colors have been shown, and it's not something that has just been going on for a couple of weeks or a couple months. I mean, there's years worth of material where this guy basically entered into our community for no other reason really than just to try to hit on girls that, for all intents and purposes, were out of his league. But he figured, I can, if they're wrestling fans, eventually I can work my way into them. But either way. The one other thing we want to state, though, is, again, our podcast and our Instagram videos that we do every week, we want them to be fun, we want them to be interactive, but also don't feel like, just because that's all we talk about, that we aren't aware of other things that are going on. So, if you've got, young ladies out there, if you've got this guy who's trailing you, or whatever, and you just need him off your back. You need him to go away. He won't leave you alone, whatever. And you spot us at an event, come say hey to us. Come say hey. Make it known, hey, you're Stephen Kia, you do on the Ring Apron, and just very, very quietly kind of just say, hey, look, I need him away from me. And we'll act like we've known you our entire life. We'll act like, we haven't seen you in forever. We'll act like we've invited you to the barbecue last week. Anything to to be able to get you away, because what I've learned about people like this in my years, having a wife, having children, is people like this operate best in shadow.
Yep.
They don't do well when there's a lot of lights on them. They don't do well when there's a lot of eyes peering on them, and the more eyes that are peering on them, the less likely they're going to do something. And then, once they've decided to head off, you're still welcome to hang with us. We're never going to shoo anybody away who wants to come hang out with us. But at the end of the day, we want everybody out here to feel like this is a safe community. This is a safe place to be. WWE events, especially now in, today's, with everything going on in the world right now, this is a chance for us to forget about that for just a couple of hours, and we are sure as hell not going to let dickheads like this, take away, the fun that we create every time we go to one of these events. So, feel free to reach out to us, give us your thoughts. As I said, we're not mentioning any names of anybody. It's a safe community here. But if you want someone to talk to, our messaging is open. Instagram, our Twitter handles on there. YouTube, whatever you want.
If you have a Facebook, I just created a group and a page. So if you look up On the Ring, you'll find us.
Right. So be on the lookout. I'll try to throw a description. I'll throw a link in the description once we get that fully in place. Do not hesitate. Talk to us. If you need someone to talk to, we are 100% confidential. We'll keep everything as quiet as you want it to be. But at the end of the day, we want WWE to feel like it is a safe haven for everyone, young, old, male, female, whatever. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody's welcome here. And those who want to, take advantage of this community like this are ones that need to be outed. I'm happy to say this person was. I don't think we're going to see him again, but again, do right. If you're sitting there creeping on, if your ultimate goal of showing up at one of these events is to creep on some underage girl or to creep on somebody who's way out of your league that you would never get otherwise, please take that somewhere else. Okay, don't bring that here.
Take it to the club.
Thank you. So either way, we promise we'd keep this brief, but this was something that, like I said, deserved more than just a 1 or 2 minute blurb in our videos on Fridays. Still check us out on Friday. We've got plenty to talk about. WrestleMania is getting ready to come up, but thank you for your time, and be safe out there. Again, reach out to us if you want someone to talk to. Y'all be safe out there. Have a good night.
We'll see you Friday.